All right, let's get it started, ladies, gentlemen, and everybody else who might be out there watching. Uh, Great big firing this week that I know Tina Winter is extremely happy about. Josh McDaniel was let go from the Las Vegas Raiders. And if you would have seen the smile on Tina's face when that happened, you guys would have been amazed. But because of that, we decided, hey, let's talk a little bit about that because there's probably a good 5 or 6 coaches who are probably on the hot seat as well. We're going into week 10. Most teams have played 8 or 9 games now. Buys are going on currently. So things are starting to shape up. You're starting to kind of get an idea of who the contenders, pretenders might be. And so some of these coaches are kind of feeling the heat a little bit. So let's get into it. Delilah, I'm going to start with you because you've talked about this here in Chicago. Hello, how we doing? All right, everybody. Sorry, everybody there? Okay, everybody back? Are we back? Are we there? Yeah. All I saw was 4 spinning circles for a second. I went, oh my God, what happened? What do we do? What happened? Oh, whatever. But yeah, Delilah, we're going to start with you because, again, you have been protesting this and shouting this from as high as you can. Matt Eberflus, our wonderful coach here in Chicago, who, as we know, does not have a winning record. But what do you think, though? I mean, we're getting it to the point now. We're 2-7 going into this game on Thursday night with Carolina. I mean, do you feel like Eberflus is on the hot seat? What do you think about Matt? Do you think what's going on there?
We don't fire coaches in the middle of the season. So even if he was in the hot seat, we're going to let it play out. It's just I mean, I'm not saying it's impossible because these are probable, right? So I'm not saying it's not probable, but we are not known for firing coaches, regardless how awful they are, because we went through Fox, we went through Nagy, and so it's and we never fired them, and and then we had Trustman, who also had like a 2 wins or 3 wins or whatever, and we gave him a shot, and we still didn't fire him. So is he on the hot seat for contract next season? 100%. Like that, I don't see a reason to bring him back when they gave him 2 seasons, and we've done it again. Like we had John Fox for 2 seasons. He had a losing record. We fired him. I think the only one we had longer was Nagy because he actually was winning games here and there. You know what I mean? So we did give him more shots. He did take us to a wild card. So I understood that part. But previously, the longest before that, the coach that we've had around the longest was the one that took us to the Super Bowl recently, Mr. Lovie Smith. That's the only coach in recent, 2000s that we've given longer contracts and more chances to. But everyone else, they at least give them like 2 seasons and they're like, you're out of here. So I'm thinking that that's going to happen. We're not going to see Eberflus. I don't think we'll even see Getsky because he didn't do what we thought he was going to do here for us. We thought, what a steal from Green Bay. And they're like, I see. Okay, that's probably why they weren't, tripping on him leaving, So we've been firing coordinators and other coaches for other stuff, which that's the other thing that's weird. Like they're not telling us, why they're firing these guys. They're just saying, something happened.
Inappropriate behavior. Like they're like, it's behavioral issue. Well, what does that mean? Right. Behavioral issue. What did he do? Right.
So no, I don't. I think he is on a hot seat, 100%. But it won't be a mid-year firing. Well, we're gonna let him play out, and then I think Poles is gonna be like, "All right, sir, we're done with your services." Yeah. So and a season firing for sure.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. We never fire anybody mid-season for whatever reason. So they just, they always wait till the end and go, "Okay, you're done." But Tina, we're gonna switch gears a little bit. We're gonna go to you. You're on a comment bye week. Well, thank you, Scott, but you commented anyway. So are you really on a bye? Nice try, pal.
He was on the wrong feed because we have, this opens on Let's Talk Football, but then I also open on Sean's, but I don't see those comments. So everyone watching, we love your comments, but just so you know, when it comes live on Sean's private Facebook, we don't see those on here. We only see the YouTube ones and then the ones that pop up on the Let's Talk Football Facebook group. Just an FYI. Right. So I feel really bad because sometimes I'll go over there and see his, and I'll see like a million comments I didn't see. And so I don't want anyone ever thinking we're not showcasing your comments because we're being like rude or mean. We don't see them. So, so if you want us to show your comments, comment on the live feed that comes on YouTube or on the one that
Facebook.
On the Facebook group. Then we see those. Anyway, sorry, I just want to throw that out there because I realized
absolutely.
Anyway.
No, thank you for letting them know that, right? Because I even wasn't quite sure, about that whole thing. So, yeah, thank you for that, Delilah. So, Tina, a guy who's been around for a very long time, whose teams have suffered since a certain quarterback has left his company there, Bill Belichick. Is this the end of the road for him in New England? Is this time for him to ride off into the sunset, as it were? What do you think?
God, I hope Darth Vader quits soon.
Oh, God, I love it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All joking aside. All joking aside. Actually, I think Belichick has earned the right to decide when he wants to leave based on what he has done with Tom Brady at the Patriots. He has turned the Patriots. It's not just a team. It's a culture. It's a whole idea of what's there. So I do think he's deserved the right to stay as long as he wants to. But if he was smart, he'd look at what's going on right now and be like, I want off the ship. Okay. Like, and based on some things that have kind of happened, might bring an old OC back and give him that job because, though I don't think he should ever be a head coach again. But I mean, that's the thing. He did his. Yes, Josh McDaniels is who I'm referring to, as I lovingly like to call him, Coach McDum-Dum. He kind of has earned a right through there. He was the OC there. That's where I think he should have stayed from the beginning. Sorry, didn't mean to turn it into that, but I agree. And I think also the Patriots owner, who I can't remember his name now.
Kraft.
Oh, Jesus, Kraft. I just saw the comment. That's why I went, oh, Jesus. I'm so sorry.
Right. Robert Kraft. It's all good.
Kraft. I think Kraft will let Belichick stay. He might be like, I really think you should try and figure out who your successor is going to be. But I think he'll be allowed to stay as long as he wants to.
That's that's the crazy thing. No, because I tend to agree with you. Like, sometimes you get to that certain level that you just go, well, the guy can do whatever the hell he wants. He brought you 7 titles. Like, is this a guy you really just want to be like, well, it's time for the glue factory there, pal. We're going to put you out to pasture. I mean, yeah, you kind of sit there. I mean, again, I do kind of, the whole Mac Jones thing. It's like, that was, sorry. Whoa. I apologize. What was that? Hello. I thought it was a flip on the screen or something. I thought my phone was cracked. I'm like, what is that? Sorry, folks. Getting rid of a cold is never a fun thing, right? My bad. I don't know what that was. Like, Hetty can't stop laughing now. Forget it. It's gone. There it is. Look at Hetty. Hetty's just gonna.
Buddy,
I'm telling you. Oh man, that just shows you how much I'm not even paying attention.
Free Willy.
I'm just sitting here talking, and got a big snot coming out of my nose. That's fantastic. I don't play well. Sean will cut that into a clip for next week. That'll be great. Nick's long dinner. Take a look. There you go. All right, it's over.
I didn't even notice. I was oblivious.
No, I know.
I was just I was like, didn't we talk about Belichick, and we kind of all agreed that he'll leave on his own terms.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much. I would think so, but
if Kraft
what can you do?
Fire him last year after how bad Mac Jones was. Kraft is not going to fire him until he wants to leave.
And honestly, apparently his contract is huge too, and he has all these other
Yeah.
It came out that
Hardcore.
they signed him for like a multi-year lucrative thing, and it wasn't just coaching. Like, it's like he has general like he's got a lot going on over there. So
yeah, he's the general manager. He's the head coach. He's making all the
Yeah.
decisions. So they've got to
For
find
sure.
somebody that. And
Yes.
so many of the
Yeah, thank
guys
you,
that
Sean,
were under
I'm
his
sure.
coaching tree are gone. They went to other
Right.
teams, or they're trying other
Yeah.
things. And some of them done well, some haven't. So who do you bring back? Who is there that can take over? So
I mean, I think you're right. Maybe they will call
I
it.
think they're just kicking the can down the curb until Belichick says, "Yeah, I'm done."
It'll be Josh McDaniels. They'll bring him back to be the head coach. That'll be fantastic. Tina will love it. No.
Bye.
I mean,
people in Boston, in New York, and New England love him.
He does know that system, though. Like we didn't. Will he be as good? No, absolutely not.
No,
but
probably not. Probably not at all.
I could see them bringing him back on maybe not a long-term contract. The Raiders already owe him money anyway. Like, they're paying 2 coaches. Yo, Raiders.
Yeah.
Get it together.
Yeah, Raiders, right? You still paying John Gruden. Now you're still paying Josh McDaniels. The Raiders. And you know what? I think we should all become head coaches and see if we can get contracts like that. They're still paying us after. I mean, I can get paid to lose games. What the hell? Fire me. Keep paying me. What do I I'll do some X's and O's for you. Let's get it on, right? Like, come on. I can call some football plays.
I'm going to put it like this. I'm going to take it a step deeper. I know we're a professional football program, but where the money's at is college football.
Yeah.
Jimbo, they gave Jimbo Fisher doggone near $100 million contract.
Yeah.
And he can't he's the number 1 recruiting class every year, and he can't win more than 8 games a year. So
yeah.
I'm just saying. I mean, look at Coach Joe Burrow's old college coach. They had to pay him $17 million on the way out the door while he was talking about go Tigers. So
Orgeron, Ed, get the money, Ed. Right. Ed got his money, that's for sure, on his way like you. But it's so Anthony, we're gonna come to you next. Coaches, this one is a guy you see twice a year because his team plays in your team's conference division. I mean, Todd Bowles with the Buccaneers could be on the hot seat. Tampa Bay not quite living up to the post Tom Brady era again. Another team that loses Brady and somehow falls apart a little bit. What do you think about Todd Bowles losing his job possibly there, Mr. Handy?
That is entirely possible. And you hit the nail, but you also hit the nail right on the head. There's a big difference between there's a big difference between you had God, insert bad quarterback name here, playing under center for your team, and the coach was just garbage, and you actually being a good coach who knows how to utilize quite possibly one of the top, I would say 10, if not top 5 players in the history of the league, or at least in our lifetime. Okay. Those guys had to be good to know how to utilize this guy, and you lose that guy. It's like being the Justice League with just like Batman and Robin, and they don't have any superpowers. You dig what I'm saying? Now, Batman's a bad dude, but you got all these invincible people around you. You lose them, Batman is going to, might have to touch an L. So, and Scott also said Baker Mayfield, which is very true. But the point that I'm trying to make is, I mean, he probably will wind up suffering, getting that pig slip. If not this season, then if it's not this season, well, if they can, I'll put it like this: if they can say at or above 500, then he might get one more season. If the wheels completely fall off, he will get a pig slip at the end of the season.
Yeah, no, it's weird because you figure, Baker Mayfield has shown flashes this year, and you just wonder, like, what is it? A combination of things? Because, like, Tampa Bay, for all intents and purposes, has a pretty good defense. And you would think the offense, I mean, he can run an offense. It just doesn't seem like they're really, like, Mike Evans hasn't been great.
Yeah.
Things just don't seem to be falling into place for Tampa.
Yeah.
and I just think that's one of the things.
Brady.
It could be that they haven't had it's the first time that they're kind of playing together. We kind of talked about it before, how sometimes they wait like 2 seasons at least, you know what I mean, to see if the quarterback and the players gel. Because you are coming, as we said, you're coming in after Tom Brady. That's just already, people are like, clowning you already, right? Because that's just hard to already follow up on, right? And so I don't know if they'll both be gone. I think they might. I think Anthony's right. They don't have a complete losing season. They can still win a few more games and still wind up over 500. You know what I mean? And there's teams on the road that they can probably win. They could get some W's out of the next, some games here. So, but I think if they do stay above 500, I think they both stay. Because again, it's the first season with these guys. Mike Evans, surprisingly, right, hasn't been really on the ball, and so I just think that they haven't really gelled. It's kind of how we said last year about Russell and, Denver. You know what I mean? It was just their first time with that coach, you know what I mean? And so and now this season,
and the last time with that coach.
Yeah, I'm just saying that, but now we're seeing but we are seeing a change though, as as Tina's seeing, there is a change in how the guys are playing together. There is a change in people actually buying into that system. You know what I mean? And so I don't know. I don't think he's right away out the door. I don't think so.
No, I got you. No, like I said, it'd be interesting to see again, especially Tampa Bay in the division they're in. And Sean Spencer chimes in. Thank you, Sean. The Bucs will be in the hunt at least for that division. Yeah, I mean, right now it's, kind of the Saints look like they, could take it. Bucs should still be in there. So we'll see. Again, I'm just going to throw out a couple of few names. You guys can respond as you wish. One of them being Mr. Spencer. I'm sure he'll have a lot to say about this one. Ron Rivera, Washington Commanders. I think Ron's been on the hot seat for a few years, but what do you guys think? Is this it for Ron now? Is this finally the last hurrah? And after this year, he's gone? What do you guys think?
I think so because of new ownership. I think so, yes. I think that's why. We have all seen Mr. Magic. We have seen his tweets. Well, I'm not on Twitter, but I've seen them, and he is not happy. And I have never seen him so lively on social media before.
Right, yeah.
And so I think this time, yes, I think it's more than possible that they'll give him his pink slip because it's new ownership. They want a kind of new changing of the guard. They want fresh ideas, fresh coaching, and so I think now it's more than possible that yes, we'll see the last of Ron at Washington.
I'm going to agree with that. I'm sorry, Tina, did you have something?
Go ahead.
I agree with that 100%. They came in. I think old Josh wanted to see if having new ownership, because everybody kept saying it's Snyder. Well, Snyder was a huge part as far as the culture surrounding the team and the boneheaded decisions and not allowing the GMs and coaches to make their own decisions. But he wanted to come in and say and see, okay, I'm taking away all of the things that you said were holding you back. We have taken that away from you. Superman, there is no more kryptonite. Let's see if you can go beat up the bad guy. That's 2 comic book references and 2 question answers. So and we see what the Commanders have put on the field. And so yeah, they're definitely I think they came in with the mindset that they were going to get rid of him anyway, but they just wanted to make sure, you come in and you come in as a new owner and you clean house and install a new coach and the wheels fall off. This is a new breed of NFL fans. They might give you 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 years back in the day. Now it is win now or we're gonna rail you.
True. Go ahead, Tina. You were going to say something? Yep.
Why get Bieniemy if you're not going to bring him in as soon as you can?
Yeah. I mean, I thought, that was an interesting thing too. Bringing Bieniemy to that team.
Andy. That's what kind of what Andy was saying was the owners wanted to give him another try, but they bring in why would Bieniemy, who was interviewing for other positions as a head coach, Why did he suddenly decide to do this? Now, I don't know the ins and outs. Sean knows his local media a little bit better, but my look on that is they went in and said, okay, we're going to give you a year. And if it's not right, going right to him and see what he can do. And this is similar to what happened in Denver also, which is the Walton Penner group came in. They didn't really change much because everybody needs to remember Hackett was not hired by the Walton Penner group. Hackett was hired by the trust and John Elway. So he was hired by the previous administration. Gave them a year, see what they can do. Didn't work, ripped it apart. And so I really don't see why you'd bring Bieniemy in if you're not gonna. Now maybe he's going to be there for a couple of years and he's trying to get some seasoning underneath Ron Rivera as a head coach, but who knows? I wouldn't be surprised if he stays. I wouldn't be surprised if he's gone. Yes, I'm on that one.
No, that's fine. We saw our old buddy Abloh in the comments saying that Harris wasn't the one who, technically Harris didn't hire Bieniemy.
Right.
But I got to imagine that they're happy that he's there. I have to, again, Bieniemy's a guy who's been up, or who you thought would be up for many head coaching jobs in the last few years, and he's had interviews, but the trigger was never pulled for whatever reason. And I just thought it was curious. I think Sean and I talked about this a little bit about Bieniemy coming to Washington, kind of like, oh, well, that's kind of interesting that now he ends up there in another position. Here we go. Sean chimes in. Everything from the new owners to the hiring of VB to the trading away Chase and Montez leads us to believe it changes on the way. Yeah, I would have to say that's true, Sean. Yeah, obviously, when you start trading away your two best defensive linemen, I think that's kind of you're going in another direction. Your season, you may not feel is going the way you want it, and you're going to make a change. I do want to throw out one more name before we get off the coaches here, because I kind of find it interesting that this guy still has a job. He blows a 27-point lead in a playoff game last year to the Jaguars. And a lot of people have criticized Brandon Staley, throughout the last few years, just with the Chargers seem like they're underperforming or that Justin Herbert isn't developing the way he should under Staley. What do you guys think about Brandon Staley with the Chargers there? Is a change coming for him if the Chargers can't do anything this year? What do you guys think?
I personally think the ownership of the Chargers are cheap.
Okay.
Why move him to LA? Why? Everything the Chargers ownership does, it's like the Davis family 2.0. And yeah, it's in my division. So I love these stories. But why do you do they bring in LaDainian Thomas. They have Phillip Rivers. They can't quite get where they need to go. So then they're bringing somebody else in. And maybe Staley isn't the best guy, but they also seem to pull it out in the end for some reason. So it's one of those. It's kind of maybe like Ron. He looks bad, but for some reason he looks good in the end. And the ownership or the GM or the president says, we don't really want to look for anyone else. We like your salary. Where I'm trying to remember the family that bought that team. They own Pabst Blue Ribbon. They own a bunch of stuff. So you never know where that's coming from. But if I was a Chargers fan, I'd want him fired. I stopped myself from saying it.
I am with you. Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. Especially when you just watch the other LA team win a Super Bowl, a few years ago. So you're just yo, how about us? It's you see that happen. And we know the way they won is because they threw all their chips in one basket. They say, we're going to just try it. We're going to throw everything at it. We're going to throw money at it, like Tina was saying. And we are just going to go all in. And it paid off. It paid off in the end. And so it did pay off. It did give them a Super Bowl win, and so I can see the point. And I'm surprised they haven't fired Staley yet, because as you like Justin a lot, right, Nick? And so
I do. I'm a big Herbert fan.
Yeah, and so
I like Herbert too.
He should be already, had at least made it further in the playoffs than they have. You know what I mean? And so how is that possible if you have such a talented quarterback, right? And you do have some good receivers still that make good plays, and the defense isn't awful, and so
they're old.
but
they're old.
But that's what I mean. But they should have been deeper in the playoffs, like you know what I mean? At least you know what I mean with the talent that they did have, and they never could. They just kind of would make it close and just not go all the way. So I'm with Tina. I said if I'm the Chargers fans, I'd be like, just fire the coach and get us some new blood and get us some young, hungry guys.
Yeah. No, it's
got the guys. It's just that some of the people they've been able to get as far as wide receivers and even on their tight ends aren't as good as the old fogies that are on the team. I mean, Keenan Allen is still a wide receiver.
That's what I'm saying.
For the Chargers.
Yeah, I think Gerald Everett has underperformed as a tight end. I think they expected more, from Everett, and he hasn't been spectacular, as far as that goes. I mean, Eckler's having a pretty good season as far as running backs go. So, I mean, he scored a touchdown last night in that game, which, again, Tina was very ecstatic about because the Jets got killed. But we'll talk about that another time. But, yeah, it's I just, again, Staley just, it's hard to come back, like, as Handy will tell you, when you blow a 20-something point lead in a game, it's not exactly a I was amazed though today that he's gone. We lost Andy. He pulled an Nathan Snell and turned his camera off. He's out. That's it. It's done. Andy's done with me. It's over.
Exactly, Sean. That's what I'm saying.
100%. Absolutely. Expected, and again. It's hard. I mean, that was a young, the Jaguars are a year older, obviously, and they have a good team. But last year, you would have thought there's no way they're coming back from a 27-point deficit to win that game. And that was just one of those things where you go, is that the team just collapsing? Is that coaching? Like, what is it?
I don't know. But I'm glad they did because I like the Jaguars and I like Trevor Lawrence.
No, I do too. I'm a big Trevor Lawrence fan. I love Travis Etienne. I mean, I like Christian Kirk. They have a good offense, and their defense is improving. I think the Jaguars, they've won 5 in a row. They have the longest winning streak this season in the NFL. They won 5 games in a row. So you can't argue with what the Jaguars are doing right now. But, yeah, again, these are coaches that are all in the hot seat. Of course, we'll all be watching the rest of the season unfold to see if these guys still have jobs at the end of the year, how their teams finish, all that sort of stuff. Keenan Allen is still the top. Yeah, I mean that is true.
100%.
That's true. We're done. Yeah, no, we know, but
once you come to Keenan Allen, they got nobody else. They hardly have anybody else. That's the problem.
And that's the thing you got to have right. Yeah. Which is an issue. Yeah, a few teams have that issue, right? Exactly, where you can just key on the tough guy, and then you dare the other guys to beat you because they don't produce as much as the top guy.
Mm-hmm.
But let us move on. We're going to get to the recaps. Of course, we always do our team recaps. Although, Tina, your team was on a bye this week, so I don't know. Is there anything you want to say about your team? Do you have any news, updates, or anything on your old Denver Broncos before we get into this?
No, not really. It's been kind of quiet.
Okay.
Just the normal
it's been a little quiet
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just looking to see who might be coming off the injury list, but that's about it. So
I
do think it's going to be an interesting game this week, next Monday, against the Bills.
Yeah, they got the Monday night game. Yeah, I just saw that.
Yeah.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, real quick, not to digress too much, but I did think this was funny because somebody put up a thing about all the primetime games this week just seem like really horrible matchups because you got Carolina and the Bears on Thursday night, Buffalo and Buffalo's been struggling so horribly that you got Buffalo and Denver on a Monday night, and it just escapes me right now who the Sunday night game is, but it was 2 teams where you just went, do I really want to watch that? You got just
Denver and Minnesota.
Minnesota and who? Sorry.
Game. Denver and Minnesota is the Sunday night game.
I thought you said Denver was on Monday night.
I think they're on Monday and then they're on Sunday.
What? What I missed? Wait, what am I missing there, team? Did I misunderstand?
I think we play both Monday and then the next Sunday night game.
Oh, I was talking about the Sunday night game this week. The games that are on this week. No, it's okay. That's why I was, because I'm like, wait a minute, did I miss something? Is that didn't sound right. But okay, yeah.
My apologies.
No, that's okay. That's okay. No, but yeah, they seem like 3 lackluster games. Anthony Taylor, he was top 5 in passing this past week. Don't worry, Sean. We're gonna get the handy in his with his Falcons there. We're gonna get to it. We're gonna get to it. Palmer is legit. All right. So, well, like we said, unfortunately, I can't talk anymore. Tita's Broncos did have the bye week, so not a lot to report as far as Denver goes. But again, should be an interesting matchup. Like she said, I'm sure she'll have plenty to talk about next week when we talk about Bills Denver and that recap. But Handy, let's go to you next, buddy. Kind of a tough loss for your Falcons this week. I mean, and again, I'm not trying to throw salt in your wound because I had Atlanta. I had taken Atlanta in my weekly sheet, and I'm like, I think that Minnesota lost Kirk Cousins. They had a rookie starting, but they picked up Josh Dobbs this week, and somehow the rookie gets a concussion, and Josh Dobbs comes in the game, and well, I think we all know what happened. But Handy, give us your impressions of your recap this week. What's going on with your Falcons?
Wait a minute now. Did you want my my opinion of the game, or you want my impressions? Which one you want? I can't do both of them at the same time.
I'm going to do something that you know how I talked about a few, like at the beginning of the season when I talked about Dallas and the fans not ripping the TVs off the wall and all of that stuff.
Yes.
You all know, and I have made it very known. I've made it known since I don't want to give the NFL no outrageous amount of money to be able to watch the ticket. And we haven't switched over to YouTube TV yet. I get Falcons games. I get to see maybe a couple a year. Well, as it worked out, and you all know, when one game ends, they might switch over to something else just to fill the time space between until the next game starts. Well, as fate would have it, the early game ended, and they switched over to Falcons footage, and I was like, holy crap! I almost pulled a Tina and cussed. I was like, holy crap, they're winning! And I literally, in the time it took me to leave the room, walk out, leave the living room, go get something because I keep a little food stash in my closet. I went to get some snacks or something to come back and watch it, have some snacks while I'm fixing dinner. And all of a sudden, the Vikings are in goal-to-goal situation. And at that point, I just put my snacks down and I just turned back to the TV because I knew exactly what was going to happen. I'm a Falcons fan. We can see this coming a mile away. It's just like there's certain people, when you see them coming and you ain't seen them in forever, they're going to ask you for money. I knew exactly what was going to happen. How do you? Talking about you, Falcons. I normally look over here because this is the bigger screen and I could read all the letters on it because my eyes ain't too good. Don't let these glasses fool you. They're a lot stronger than the lenses indicate. When I'm looking at the screen right now, how do you have a lead and lose the game to not a first string, not a second string? And I know this guy is not a third string per se, but he was third on the depth chart quarterback who's only been with the team for 5 days. 5 whole days. Like Eddie Murphy when he did his impersonation of Bill Cosby, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days. That's how long he's been on the team. That is the most Atlanta thing Atlanta could do. Atlanta, I said it before, I'll say it again, is the most consistently inconsistent team in the NFL, and they continue time and time again when they got an opportunity to strap up and go handle business. They just let the fellas fall outside both sides of the jock strap and hang down to their knees and go, we're not going to do anything today. It's not like, it's not like, how do you do that on national television in front of everybody? It's not like, it's not like
salt to the wound.
It's not like, going to the biggest game of the entire season and giving up a 25-point lead to lose in overtime. Oh, wait. It's not like going to the biggest game of the season and your wide receiver goes downtown like a dumbass and tries to proposition a police officer. Oh, wait.
Okay, then.
I have given love to this team for years. It's not like having the most electrifying quarterback in the history of the game that is just phenomenal, and you finally get pieces around him to make the team potentially be a playoff team, and then all of a sudden some dogs go missing. Oh, wait. I can't stand it no more. And Arthur Smith, how the hell? I thought professional football coaches were supposed to look like guys that can fight. Arthur Smith looked like the dude who got his lunch money took every day.
I'm just reading Gab's comments. Sorry. That's a good one. That's about right, though. You know, it's true. And I read something this morning that I thought was interesting, too. Literally, during the huddle, and like while he was at the line of scrimmage, they're feeding stuff to Josh Dobbs because he doesn't know all the calls or everything yet.
Right.
So the coach is literally talking to him while he's sitting in there ready to snap the ball. And he's telling him, okay, Josh, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. So, yeah, that's how crazy it was that Josh came in the game and led the comeback that he did because he had no idea what the hell was going on. Like you said, 5 days on the team, and that was it.
The Falcons were so bad. The Falcons are so bad at fighting off defeat from the hands of victory. They could have gone and got they could have gone to Jersey and got Fireman Joe, the Jets' biggest fan, and said, "Hey, you want to play football for a minute?" And he would have cut Jets, Jets, and ran right on in there. And then he'd have been on the plane on the way home with the team with the chain on top. I said, I want to cuss. I want to cuss so bad. You have no idea.
That's my job.
I can imagine.
I really do. I do. It's like having. It's like having that paper cut. It doesn't really hurt, but every time you do something and rub your hand together, you just want to punch a hole in the wall. That's how I feel about the Atlanta Falcons right now. I can calm down. I can feel my blood pressure going up right now. I swear, for the Lord,
I think so.
Just pitiful, Skip. Pitiful.
I can tell you one thing.
I called myself going down to Savannah to be at Savannah State so I could show off what a great sports state Georgia is. And the Bulldogs is winning on Saturday, and the Falcons is just turning the ball, letting the man to come in. He just got to the game. He had to catch an Uber to get to the game. He got there right before the kickoff. I made that up, by the way. I don't y'all go Google it.
We know.
But I will say this. I guarantee that in Minnesota you'll be able to find a Josh Dobbs jersey, like unlike when he was in Arizona and couldn't find his own jersey. But I'm just saying, we'll move on from that one.
Man, there you go. There's another point. The man was quarterbacking in Arizona last week. I'm not saying he's a bad quarterback, but he was suffering in Arizona.
Yeah. Certainly.
Quarterback in Arizona, quite possibly the worst team in the league right now. Well, no, Atlanta has proved us wrong yet again. I think Atlanta is the worst team in the league. I'm sorry, y'all. It's just Falcons fans. I'm sorry. If y'all don't go see not nary another game at Mercedes-Benz Stadium other than to just get some chicken wings before kickoff, I would not be mad at you at all.
Well, there you go.
Arthur Smith got me so pissed off. I'm getting ready to start shopping at Lowe's. The hell with Home Depot, too.
Yeah, no, I got you. Well, let's get real quickly to our Bears recap because I'm sure this will be fun for Delilah and I to talk about. But 5 turnovers, Delilah. Couldn't find a way. New Orleans tried hard to give us the game, and we just kept giving it right back. I couldn't but anyways, right. Do you even want to talk about this? Do you have anything to say about our 24 to 17 loss?
It's the same stuff I say all the time. I'm repeating myself. It's the same stuff. We don't build upon wins. We never do. I'm tired of it. I'm not even blaming Badgett. I know he made mistakes, but he's a rookie. He's a kid. He's just learning the system. And it's just proving again that we don't do right by our quarterbacks. It's just showing that over and over and over again. That Chicago is known as the place that don't develop quarterbacks. And all those people, as I've said, to calm down about Justin Fields because this kid, he's new, he's learning, and he's not learning from the right people. I don't think so. I want everybody gone on the coaching staff. I like the players. They're very talented. We should be above 500. And I believe that with the team that we have, wholeheartedly, 100% believe that we should not be 2 and what is it now, 7?
2 and 7. 2 and 7, yeah.
And the Panthers only won one game, and they're favored to beat us. Think about that. Think about that for a second. Okay.
Yeah, well, again, it's just
that's just so you know that even though Panthers have won less games than us, they're still favored to beat us at home at Soldier Field. The Thursday night game. Congratulations if that's what your Thursday night game is. Trash.
Right.
And like I said, I will always blame the coaches, not the players. I like both of my quarterbacks. I think that we've done Justin wrong, and I think we're doing wrong by Bagent. He has an arm. I keep hearing that from all these people, that he's a talented kid, that he did good in that small football conference. I don't college as well as you guys. You know, I heard he did pretty good out there. And I love DJ Moore. Look at what we did with Foreman. Foreman could catch and could pass. You know what I mean? He can catch and he could run. You know, I see a lot. And, you know, I just don't think we have the right coaches. And I'm hoping that now that Poles has a chance to hire who he wants, right? Now he can he can move away. I hope that, you know, Poles fires everybody in the coaching staff and starts brand new and brings on people who actually believe in developing teams, or you're not going to get quarterbacks to come here. We're already hearing these quarterbacks. Everybody's like, oh, Caleb Williams. He already said he would rather go back and do another year in college if he thinks he's going to be drafted by a team that won't support him, right? Leave him hanging. Anyway, I'm done. That's it.
No, it's okay. Again, I have to echo a lot of your sentiment in the sense, like, I just feel like it's one of those years that unfortunately it happened again, where we have such high expectations and everybody just comes off flat, and before you know it, we've got a losing record, and it just doesn't look like it's going to get too much better. I mean, we may win another game or two this year, but we just look very lackluster. You know, exactly. Agreed. They've won one game, we won two, but what's the real difference? So